Or y'all?
Welcome in, Googans.
What is this that you sent me? Oh,
That's
the bottle thing.
The bottle cap challenge. Jason
I'll be doing that after the show.
Jeff's going to do the bottle top challenge tomorrow.
I'm going to do it right now and just kick my coffee over. I can tell you right now that some challenges you don't need to take to understand that you won't complete them.
Right.
Like I wouldn't take the ACT right. I wouldn't take the GED right now. Never mind the SAT.
No.
And
I don't want to do it.
I'm not doing the bottle. I don't want to try and lift my heel above my waist.
No.
Yeah, especially with some other,
No, there was one video that's going around that a guy his sweatpants came off as he was turning, so full moon fever.
Trust me, somebody's going to end up with the worst injury in the history of injuries, and that's when the guy rips himself apart underneath his undercarriage.
Or even just
you know how that happens sometimes.
There's too much weight on the one leg, and we got
who was the baseball player that split himself underneath the other?
It was like
one of your guys.
Yeah, it was Felix Pierre.
Yeah.
So for the torn testicle was the description.
Yeah, I don't want
one
of those.
Just the description.
Yeah. Keep me out of the torn testicle business.
Yeah,
I had an observation today, a keen observation. That's why you've missed me so. But 1 month from today, we got our first preseason game.
Crazy.
So before you know it, football will be here. There seems to be some optimism growing towards the Jaguars, at least among some. I'm still in the same spot. I mean, I'd like to see them in training camp, get some pads on. We don't know what we have in terms of some of the linemen on each side of the line of scrimmage, but it is nice to see some national reporters and analysts at least believe somewhat in the Jags. It's better than the opposite, that's for sure.
This morning we had Baselli on, Breakfast with Baselli live.
As always,
a villa overlooking the Mediterranean in Barcelona.
That's how he rolls.
And you asked him about the quarterbacks in the AFC South. And, clearly Luck's number one, and it seems like pretty clearly Mariota is number 4.
Yeah.
But like Tony said, you catch him on another day, it'll be Foles 2 and Watson 3. Today he said Watson 2, Foles 3. Where do you stand on it?
It's like we talked about with Tony. That's kind of
how wide's the margin between those two?
That's kind of a question that you can ask the same question 2 different ways. You might get 2 different answers. One is who's better, Nick Foles or Deshaun Watson? Well, you could say, Nick Foles is 27-2 1 year. He's won a Super Bowl. Nick Foles, or you could say, who would you rather have, Nick Foles or Deshaun Watson? Well, I mean, Deshaun Watson's only 24 years old. I can see how you could answer that question either way. Yeah. I think listen, I'm trying to say this without being as negative as it sounds. I think Jaguar fans have too high an opinion of Nick Foles. I don't think Nick Foles. I think the Jags think they're getting Russell Wilson, and they're really more getting a good quarterback, but I don't think they're getting, Nick Foles hasn't been the All-Pro, the Pro Bowl starter. He has filled in admirably when he's been given the chance recently. He had one really good year as a starter, but he has grown. I do like, just from the, a couple of the OTAs, you like the way he commands the football team. He is immediately becomes the second best quarterback in Jaguars history. So there's certainly a lot of upside and upgrade from Blake Bortles there, but Nick Foles has something to prove to Nick Foles, and that is, is he a solid week-to-week, every year starter for the next 4 years? Yeah. Not, can he win 6 in a row in December and get you into the postseason? Yeah,
because he's shown
it'll be bigger than that
in small sample sizes that he absolutely can do it. But every time he's had the opportunity to do it for an extended period of time, whether it be due to health or performance, he's struggled. He's a different guy.
The baseball season has reached its midway point, or at least the All-Star break. They'll have the Home Run Derby tonight. It was interesting that Hicken put on his poll question today just what you think of the Home Run Derby, and I'm not as surprised as he was. There's so many things that the media make out to be a lot bigger than what the public really thinks they are. And I think the Home Run Derby is one of those. Now, that's somewhat a product of the time of year. There's not much going on.
Right. It's in a TV environment on a Monday night with very few options for sports fans.
Right.
You'll flip
But the notion that someone would rather watch the Home Run Derby than the All-Star Game,
no.
That's just silly. I saw that story written on ESPN's front page this weekend. I think that was a little bit of a reach. Again, if you're as big a Braves fan, well, there is no such person. If you're a big Braves fan and you want to guarantee a world title, the first one since 1995,
that's your guy.
Go fund me, baby. Yeah. Go fund me and get me to the ballpark.
Send the bagman to chat.
I do not lose Braves games. I don't. I just don't lose them.
Much to my chagrin.
On vacation, I went to a game at Wrigley. The Braves went 2-2 in Chicago in that stretch. Of course, I was at a win. You're darn right I was.
Of course you were.
Before that, I went like 3-0 against the Padres. Before that, I was 2-0 against the Phillies. Before that, I was 2-0 against the Mets. I have not lost a game, a Braves game. I'll have to go back and see what year it is. When did A-Rod retire?
Boy,
I saw A-Rod hit a home run for the Yankees in Atlanta the last time I saw the Braves lose a game.
I think his last season was like 13.
Yeah.
I think that was his last.
Granderson was also on that team.
Yeah.
McCann was still on the Braves. He homered in that game. I mean, it was a long time. I'm probably about 19-1 in my last 20, and I'm probably on about a 13-14-0 run.
It's impressive.
I'm telling you, Braves fans, go fund me.
And if you're a Cubs fan and you don't want to win games, send me. Because every time I see the Cubs,
they lose.
Oh, I hitch an L every time I see them.
Is that right? That's frustrating too.
I
when
drag
that happens.
them. Yeah, I drag L's everywhere I go, man.
We were going to go. I said on the air we were really close to pulling the trigger to go into a game on Friday, which would have been a fun one to go to. The Braves are hitting a lot of home runs, and they did that night, and would have won again. But I'm real happy with where my baseball team sits after kind of a rocky start. I think they've, I don't want to jinx them. I get worried about mushing them. But they look to me like the best team in the East by a wide margin.
Here's a fun Beef drags an L to the Cubs story. A guy you mentioned when you popped quiz, Dan. You're talking about the home run chase in '98 and the three big characters, and he said, "Oh, who's the fourth guy?" His initials GB. Mm-hmm. Greg Vaughn, who had a real tight window of steroid use in the late '90s, where he was a home run.
That's a poor man's Gary Sheffield.
Yeah,
Greg Vaughn.
Greg Vaughn. I went to a Cubs game. I bought Cubs tickets on my birthday, so September 7th.
Was the Brewers?
He was with the Reds at the time.
Okay,
and it was like 99 or 2000. I bought tickets. They had a rain out like earlier in the year, so it ended up being a makeup doubleheader. So I had a doubleheader on my birthday.
Nice.
So I was jacked out of my mind.
Sure you are.
I go there.
This
Greg
is at
Vaughn,
Wrigley?
At Wrigley. Go there with my two best friends. Spend the whole day there. Greg Vaughn hits 3 home runs, and the Reds win both games.
Yeah, that's no fun.
It sucked so bad.
That's no good at all.
It sucked out loud.
Yeah, I went through a stretch where I lost Braves. When I was a kid, I'd go to Braves games, and the Braves were terrible when I was a kid. So, I mean, I may not have had a Braves win I may have gone 0 for about 10 to start my life as a Braves fan, but man, I am on some kind of hot streak now, boys.
Started my life at the age of 8 with a Cubs loss to the Mets. I hated them ever since.
We had a golf winner yesterday, another one of these young guns who made history, just his third pro start.
And what a way.
I mean, this guy's such a newcomer. Can you give me Wolf's first name, please?
Only because I typed it earlier this morning, Matthew.
Yeah, Matthew Wolf. Good job.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
So Matthew Wolf wins yesterday on PGA Tour. He's not even 21 yet, and we went over a list today, gang. The guys who win PGA Tour events before the age of 21 go on to win multiple majors. Yeah. Jordan Spieth, Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Rory McIlroy, Horton Smith. I mean, it was everyone but one name really was a Hall of Fame level player.
I don't follow golf as closely as you do, so I take your word for it. You said that this is a guy who, it's not like it's a flare-up, fluky kind of guy. He's been a dude who's been on the come.
Oh, no, he's been the number one amateur in the world, and he won the NCAA. They've been talking about him. So
this is just kind of where he's breaking through now.
Yeah, that for sure. And
stay tuned, Matthew Wolf with 2 Fs.
And one last thing, I apologize now after the fact that it was completely appropriate for the U.S. women to beat Thailand 13-0. They definitely needed a little bit of a goal advantage in case something happened. I mean, scoring 10 goals in the second half and celebrating with a minute to go over a team of 13-year-olds left crying on the turf was definitely worth it. They needed that on their way to the goal.
You didn't understand how important the goal differential was in this.
Yeah, game. I didn't realize that 13-0 win over.
Keep in mind that's just to get out of the
By the way, eight of those Thailand girls have been sentenced to death because of that game. I didn't want to bring that up either. Hey,
on that note,
we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, I'm going to go to Dan's house, pee in his pool.
Yeah,
we'll see you tomorrow, Googans.
Maybe it'll clean it.
We'll talk to the mayor tomorrow too. Stay tuned. We're going to try and get some things changed.